All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into, well, maybe the biggest question of all. We're looking at it through the lens of a really thoughtful source that sees life less as something that just happens to you and more as a journey that you consciously create. So let's get right into it.
And we're starting big. I mean, what is human life? It's a question we've all asked ourselves, right? Philosophers, scientists, everyone. But the source we're digging into today, it suggests the answer isn't some tidy definition you'd find in a dictionary. Nope, it's a deep, personal experience.
So let's kick things off by looking at life from a specific angle, thinking of it as this incredibly precious gift. It's a simple shift, but it changes everything. It moves the focus from just, being here, to really appreciating what it is we have. And this moves us way beyond just the biological stuff, Life isn't just about your heart beating or your lungs breathing. It's about the richness of what's going on inside. I'm talking about our unique ability to think, to imagine, even to reflect on our own existence. That's what makes human life so different, so special. It's not just about staying alive. It's about the art of living a meaningful life.
Okay, so what does a meaningful life actually stand on? Well, our source gives us these 5 pillars. And these aren't just, nice to haves. They're the absolute foundation. You've got love and friendship. That's what connects us to other people. Then there's virtue and discipline. Those ground us in ourselves, give us strength. And finally, hope. I mean, hope is the fuel, right? It's what keeps the engine running. Put them all together, and you have the essential ingredients.
And all of this leads to a really big idea. Thinking of life as a journey, not some final destination. The real meaning isn't waiting for you at the end of the road. It's found in everything that happens along the way. And you know what? That journey can look totally different from person to person. For some people, it's all a quest for happiness, searching for joy, pleasure, love. But for others, it feels more like a journey of duty. It's a path defined by struggle, by responsibility, by obligations. And the source makes a really important point here. Neither of these views is wrong. They're just different reflections of the paths we all walk.
The famous poet Rabindranath Tagore really speaks to that first view, that quest for happiness. He said true beauty is found in love and creation. It's not a passive thing. For him, beauty is an active, emotional force that comes from what we give to the world and the love we share.
Now, to balance that, let's look at the philosopher William James. He points inwards, to our own minds. He says positive thinking and faith in life is life itself. Think about that for a second. That's a huge idea. He's not just saying that your mindset is a part of life. He's saying it is life. Our internal energy, our belief, our optimism, that's what actually shapes the reality we experience. Okay, so you might be thinking, wait a minute, that sounds like a contradiction. If life is all about positive thinking and creation, then where does all the hard stuff fit in? The struggle, the pain? Well, here's the twist. Our source argues that those things aren't just unavoidable. They're absolutely essential. And let's be honest, this is just reality, isn't it? Life is never a smooth, straight road. It's this messy, unpredictable mix of success and failure, joy and sorrow, certainty and doubt. And the source tells us that just accepting this, acknowledging this truth, that's the very first step toward finding the beauty inside of it all.
Now, to make sure this doesn't all sound too philosophical, the source brings it right down to earth with a real-world example from Nepal. For a lot of people there, the struggle isn't about finding yourself. It's about finding the absolute basics. We're talking food, clothing, shelter, education, healthcare. When you're fighting for those things every day, life is fundamentally shaped by that hardship. It's a really powerful reminder of how concrete and real the struggle can be.
But here's where we get to a really powerful insight. Those challenges, they aren't just things we have to get through. They're the very things that build our character. Facing tough times is how we learn patience. Overcoming adversity, that's how we build resilience. In a way, the struggle itself is the lesson. Okay, so if life is a gift and a journey and a struggle all at once, what are we supposed to do with all that?
How do we actually live it? So let's pivot now and talk about the actual tools and the mindset our source gives us for navigating this whole complex thing with some real purpose. So our source lays out a pretty practical 4-step game plan for building a purposeful life. Step 1, you start with a solid foundation of honesty and virtue. Be a good person, basically. Step 2, build on that by pursuing education and culture. Always be learning. Step 3 flows from that. You have to actively cultivate positive thinking. And finally, step 4, the one that holds it all together, develop discipline. Because none of this works if you don't actually do it. And you can see how it's a cycle, right? Discipline reinforces your virtue, which makes it easier to stay positive, and so on.
And this all leads us to the final and maybe the most empowering message of all. Because when it comes right down to it, it's all about our own agency, our personal power of choice. At the end of the day, the quality of your life comes down to the path you choose to walk. It's a pretty clear choice. On one side, you have a life driven by selfishness, by greed, by ego. On the other, you have a life guided by service, love, knowledge, and compassion. And the source is crystal clear on this. That choice, it is 100% yours to make. And what's so powerful about this is that it's not a choice you just make once and you're done. No way. Life is a dynamic process every single day. Every morning you wake up, you get a brand new opportunity to choose your direction, to decide what your life is going to be about today. It's a constant, continuous act of creation.
So we end up right back where we started, but with a huge difference. The power is now in your hands. This isn't just some abstract philosophical question anymore. It's a real, practical one. Your conscious journey is unfolding right now, in this very moment. So the most important question is the one only you can answer. What will you choose to create?